Measures of central tendency. Well, when it comes to data and statistics, one of the most popular things to talk about regarding that data or to describe that data is either the mean, the median, or the mode. And we're going to determine those here. Okay, first off, what is a measure of central tendency? Well, it is a number or numbers that represents the center of a numerical data set. Basically, it's one number that is used to describe the central values. The mean, by far the most popular, is also called the average. We also have the median, and finally we have the mode. Now, generally, the mode is not nearly as popular when it comes to numerical data or quantitative data. The mode is far more popular when the data is non-numerical or qualitative. For example, if you ask a bunch of people what their favorite color is or their favorite flavor of ice cream, those are non-numerical answers, and there's no way to calculate a mean or median, so you'll use the mode in those cases to describe what's kind of a center, or in this case, kind of a most popular. Okay, let's go through these three, and then we'll do a quick example using Desmos. The mean, also called the average, is the number that each number in the data set would be if they were all the same. Okay, it's the most commonly used measure of central tendency. In statistical notation, the sample mean, as you take a sample of data, is represented by X bar, the letter X with a bar above it, and it is equal to the sum of the data items divided by the number of items. In a statistical language, it is sigma X divided by N. Let's write that down. So our mean is equal to the sum of the data items divided by the number of items. And I'm sure you've been doing this since you were probably, I don't know, elementary school, maybe middle school. A long time you've seen things like mean, median, and mode for a long time. In statistical lingo, X bar is equal to the sigma X over N, the sum of all the X values divided by the number of items you have. Okay, so the median. Next up, the median is the second most popular. It's the middle number in the data set when the data are arranged in order. Okay, well, if there is no middle number, in essence, if the data set contains an even number of numbers, the median is the average or the mean of those two middle numbers. Okay? And a second point about the median, while the mean or the average is the most commonly used measure of central tendency, the median is the better measure if the data set has an outlier or outliers. In other words, numbers that are significantly above or below the other numbers. Because in that case, the average gets yanked around. If you're talking about 5 people who work at Taco Bell and one basketball player, and you want to say, what is the average of their salaries? Well, obviously the basketball player who makes a whole lot of money is going to make that number look strange because your Taco Bell employees don't make as much money. So if you have a number or numbers that are very, very different than most of the numbers, you're better off to use the median to come up with that. And finally, the mode. The mode is the data value that occurs the most often in a data set. And you can have no mode, you can have one mode, you can have more than one mode. Okay, if you have 5 values that all occur the same number of times and 3 other values that occur a different number of times, Well, you could have 5 modes if they all have the most number of occurrences. So mode is, again, not quite as popular when it comes to numerical data. Okay, let's do an example. We're going to put this whole thing into Desmos a couple different ways because we have calculators that do this sort of thing, and I'm sure you've been doing this sort of thing by hand for a number of years. Example 1, to find the frictional force between 2 specifically designed surfaces. The force to move a block with one surface along an inclined plane with the other surface is measured 10 times. The results with the forces in newtons are, so we have 10 force measurements here in newtons, 2.2 newtons, 2.4, 2.1, 2.2, 2.5, 2.2, 2.4, 2.7, 2.1, and 2.5. Find the mean, the median, and the mode of these forces. Okay, let's go to Desmos. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. You can choose which one you like. I will, you can, whatever works for you. Okay, so we're going to be focused up here in the calculation section. The left side is I have my Desmos turned into landscape mode. And you have some choices. You can go to functions and go underneath the stats menu, and you can select mean, and then you can type in the numbers 2.2, comma, 2.4, comma, etc. Close those parentheses when you have all 10 of them, and it will display the mean for you. That's one possibility. Second possibility, you can do the same thing with the median, by the way. Go to functions. This choice here is the median. Select median and do the same thing. Put in this case, the 10 frictional forces, and you will have the median. It'll calculate it for you. I will note, if you go into functions, there is no mode. Again, mode is not very popular with numbers, and that's why. But mode is just simply the one that appears the most often, or the ones that appear the most often. Another possibility, you can just type in the word mean or median. So we can highlight that box, go to our ABC keyboard, and type in MEA. Now notice it's in italic, so it's kind of reading it as if they're variables. But once I type in the letter N, it goes to non-italic, which says you're now into a function. You're now doing something it knows about. And you can put in your first parenthesis and go that way if you want to. That will also work. You do need to have it within parentheses, however. I'm going to do it a third way. I'm going to put all this data into a column in a table, the X1 column. Okay, so I have 10 data items, 2.2, give me a moment, 2.4, 2.1. Once the data is in a table, then I can do all kinds of things rather quickly with it. 2.5, I hope I get them right. 2.2, I gotta make sure I put them in correctly. Otherwise, as you know, garbage in, garbage out. If I don't put anything in right, I'm not going to get anything right out of it. So let's double check here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 7. Yep, I got them all. So now once I'm in a table, I can go down to row 2 here. And I can say find the mean, find the median, find whatever I want of X1, of column X1. So I'll go to functions and I'll choose mean. And I'll just put in, hey, look at X sub 1. Well, there you go. The mean of X sub 1, it's now reading the table above, which we know our data is in column X sub 1, is 2.33. I can do the same thing, go to row number 3 here, go back to functions. My data is already in there one time. Select median and do the same thing. The median of column X sub 1, and the median is 2.3 in this case. Okay, so now I mentioned you can't do the mode this way, it's not here. But there's another way you can do things. You can put the data into a table, and then you can simply call to that table as you do these different things. So back to here, answer the question. We know that our mean, we just used Desmos, Our mean is equal to, and it told us it was 2.33 newtons. Okay, using Desmos. We have these calculators, so why not make use of them? The median, again using Desmos, came out to be 2.3 newtons. And the mode is going to be what appears, or what number or what numbers appear the most often. So let's see here. I've got a 2, 2, a 2, 2, a 2, 2. I think that's 3. So 1, 2, 3, 2 2s. I've got 2 2 4s, 1 2 1, 2 2 5. Oh, I got 2 2 1s. 1 2 2 5s. And a 2 7. So clearly the 2 2, which appears 3 times, is the mode. 2.2 newtons is the mode. Appears 3 times, which is more than any other number. Again, had I had another 2 1, for example, I would have had 2 modes if both 2 2 and 2 1 appeared 3 times. But in this case, only 2 2 appears 3 times. So there you go, mean, median, and mode. And now let's get ourselves ready to work with that.